Hello everyone. Today we are going to see about another important pathogenic organism, Corynebacterium diphtheriae. The last few classes we have discussed about some of the pathogenic gram-positive and gram-negative cocci, and this organism is a gram-positive rod, which is a causative agent of the disease diphtheria. It is also known as Klebsiella bacillus because it was discovered by the German bacteriologist Edwin Klebs and Friedrich Loeffler. Introduction. Corynebacteria, also known as corniform bacteria, is a group of bacteria which comes under gram-positive bacilli, and they are non-spore formers. So they tend to form clubs or they are irregular in shape. The Corynebacterium diphtheriae, which is the causative agent of diphtheria, is the most important pathogenic organism which comes under this group. Apart from this Corynebacterium diphtheriae, some other Corynebacteria are there like Corynebacterium ulcerans, Corynebacterium minudecimum, and Corynebacterium tenuis. So the Corynebacterium ulcerans is responsible for diphtheria-like lesions, whereas Corynebacterium minudecimum and Corynebacterium tenuis are responsible for superficial skin infections. The diphtheroids are a group of Corynebacteria which occur as the normal commensals in throat, skin, and conjunctiva. So the next one is the history. Hippocrates provided the first clinical description of diphtheria in the 4th century BC. Bretonneau, a French army surgeon, described the unique clinical characteristics of the diphtheриal disease. The bacterium was first discovered by Klebs in their 1883 and it was cultivated by Loeffler in their 1884, who applied a Koch's postulate and properly identified the Corynebacterium diphtheriae as the agent of that diphtheриal disease. So after that, in their 1884, Loeffler concluded that the Corynebacterium diphtheriae produces a soluble toxin and thereby provided the first description of a bacterial exotoxin, and this is the first description of bacterial exotoxin. And after that, Rooks and Yersin in their 1888 discovered the diphtheria exotoxin and established its complete pathogenic effects. And then in their 1890, the antitoxin was described by von Behring. Coming to the morphology, the Corynebacterium diphtheriae or slender gram-positive rods, pleomorphic, that is irregular in their shape, and it can be easily decolorized. They are non-capsulated, non-spore forming, and non-motile. They contain polymetaphosphate granules inside their cells. The bacterial cell measures about 0.6 to 0.8 micrometer in diameter and 3 to 6 micrometer in length. It has a irregular swelling at one or both the ends, that is the club shape. And here, when these bacteria are stained with Loeffler's methylene blue, it takes up the bluish purple color against the lightly stained cytoplasm, and hence they are called as metachromatic granules. And these metachromatic granules are also called as volutin granules or Babes Ernest granules. They are often situated at poles, so they are also known as polar bodies. There are some special stains available to stain the granules. So they are Albert stain, Neisser stain, and Ponder stain. So in all these stains, the bacilli are arranged in pairs, palisades, or small groups. Here the bacilli lie at various angles to each other, resembling the letters V or L shape. So this is called a Chinese letter pattern or a cuneiform. Cultural characteristics of Corynebacterium diphtheriae. This organism is an aerobic organism and it may also act as a facultative anaerobe. The temperature required for the growth of Corynebacterium diphtheriae is about 37 degrees Celsius, and in normal media its growth is very scanty and it requires special enrichment for its good growth like blood, serum or egg, and addition of 0.04% of potassium tellurite in the medium act as a selective agent which inhibits the growth of post-oral commensals, and it also retards the growth of Candida albicans and Staphylococcus aureus. Apart from these medium, it can also grow well in blood agar, Loeffler's serum slope, tellurite blood agar, Foley's tellurite lysed blood agar, and Tinsdale medium. So the colony characteristics of Corynebacterium diphtheria in blood agar. It shows small, granular and gray with irregular edges. Hemolysis, sometimes it may present or may not be present. And in case of Loeffler's serum slope, the growth is very rapid, and we can obtain the colonies in within 6 to 8 hours. Initially, it is circular, white, opaque colonies, and after that, it acquires yellowish tint on incubation. So in telluride blood agar, the growth is very slow. The colonies can be seen only after 48 hours. The colonies are brown to black with a brown-black halo because here the telluride is reduced to metallic tellurium. Staphylococcus can also produce such colonies in this telluride blood agar. So the next one is Tinsdale medium. In this medium, the Corynebacterium diphtheriae shows gray-black colonies with dark brown halos. So these contain biotypes of Corynebacterium diphtheriae. MacLeod and Anderson classified the diphtheria bacilli into 3 biotypes based on its colony characteristics on telluride medium and other properties like some biochemical reactions and based on the severity of the disease. So the 3 important biotypes of Corynebacterium are Corynebacterium gravis, Corynebacterium intermedius, and Corynebacterium mitis. So other features of various biotypes are the gravis and mitis are associated with high case fatality rates. So the infection with these organisms cause death. And then the gravis is associated with the paralytic complications. Gravis and the intermediate biotypes are responsible for hemorrhagic complications. And biotype mitis is responsible for obstruction to the air passage. The mitis is endemic, whereas the gravis and intermediates cause epidemic infection. Then coming to the biochemical reactions, so it can be tested for fermentation reactions. The Corynebacterium diphtheriae ferment glucose, galactose, maltose, dextrose, but it doesn't ferment lactose, sucrose, and mannitol. Proteolytic activity is absent here, and they do not hydrolyze urea and they do not form phosphatase, and they can produce the resistance of Corynebacterium diphtheriae. Corynebacterium diphtheriae cultures remain viable for 2 to 3 weeks at 25 to 30 degrees Celsius. It can be easily destroyed by heat. They are resistant to light and they are resistant to desiccation or freezing. It can be very easily destroyed by antiseptics. They are susceptible to the antibiotics like penicillin, erythromycin, and some other broad spectrum antibiotics. And with this, I think you have got an idea about what is Corynebacterium diphtheriae and what are its cultural characteristics, its morphology. And I will catch you with its antigenic factors and pathogenicity later. Thank you.